We are back in Connie's kitchen at Treetop Lodge for episode 40.
Wow.
And you promised you would come back every
Yes,
10 episodes and you're here.
Yes.
So today...
I didn't think it would last that long in my defense.
No, the show or you?
Well, moving on.
No. Anyway, and dealer's choice. You got to make what you wanted to make today. So Chris is going to create not the trendy Bloody Mary, but a classic Bloody Mary.
Classic Bloody Mary.
That's why I'm playing with celery. And while he's doing that and talking about it, I'm going to clean some shrimp because I'm going to throw together a little snack, but there's not much to talk about when I'm doing shrimp. So take it away, honey.
All right. Well, the Bloody Mary is one of my favorite drinks. It's a good morning drink. You know, the martini's an evening drink, scotch, cognac, something like that. That's an after dinner drink. This is the drink you can drink in the morning and not feel judged for it. This is the drink you can have alcohol in the morning and not be called an alcoholic. That's why the Bloody Mary is the drinker's best friend. Now, the Bloody Mary is pretty basic. You know, a lot of people, they can go to the store and they can buy the mixes and that, but frankly, that's crap. I mean, why would you want to do that? The mixes are terrible, and the mixes are for lazy people. The best way to do a Bloody Mary is to make it yourself. And if you have all the ingredients, it's really simple. It's not rocket science. It does have a lot of components, but it's really easy to make.
Yeah, but you can also make it to your own taste this way.
Well, yeah, exactly.
You're not buying somebody else's idea of what it should taste
Well,
like.
that's the problem, too. The mixes you get, that's what the company is telling you what they think the Bloody Mary should taste like. By doing the ingredients yourself, you can adjust what you use, how you use it, and make a Bloody Mary to your own taste. It's one of the best drinks. It's one of my favorite drinks to have on a Sunday morning. Or it's, you know, frankly, with modern life the way it is and people being idiots, it's a great drink to have in the morning before you go to work and take on traffic and everything else. So, let's start.
Not that he is condoning drinking and driving.
No, not at all. Actually, I would say just skip driving and going to work altogether and stay home and drink Bloody Marys until it's socially acceptable to move on to other alcohol during the course of the day. So let's start with a glass. The glass with a little bit of ice. I like to just put a little bit of ice in because I don't want to dilute my Bloody Mary. So I start with the primary ingredient, which...
Can I ask you something real quick?
Yes.
This is not a drink you would want to shake, like in a shaker.
No, it's not a shaker. You're just mixing it in the glass and stirring it.
Okay.
So the Bloody Mary, normally I advocate using good alcohol. Normally if I was going to be drinking, say, a martini, I would want Belvedere vodka, something like that, or a higher-end vodka. But the Bloody Mary, because you've got all these other ingredients and the tomato juice basically masking the flavor of whatever alcohol's in there, you can use cheap vodka like this. So it doesn't really matter. In this case, the alcohol, unlike other drinks like a martini where you're appreciating the taste of the alcohol is simply going in the Bloody Mary for the purposes of getting you drunk. So you can use any cheap vodka you want. We use Nikolai here. This is one of my wife's favorite vodkas.
So it's good for mixing.
Because it's good for mixing, not because it's good. I wouldn't recommend drinking this straight or just taking shots of this.
No.
Because frankly, it's garbage. But what we'll do is we'll pour a couple shots. Now, normally with a Bloody Mary, I like anywhere from 2 to 3 shots of vodka. So there's 1 shot. There's 2 shots. And you know what? It's been a really crappy week, so let's do 3 shots. There you go. Normally I'd use a little taller glass, so this one's going to be a little heavier on the alcohol, but that's okay. Modern life's hard. You need more alcohol. So now we'll use tomato juice. I like to use Campbell's tomato juice. Not the low sodium variety either. You know, don't worry about being health conscious. You're drinking for God's sake. You don't have to worry about your blood sugar, or I'm sorry, your blood pressure or anything else. So just get the regular Campbell's. None of that low sodium garbage. And then pour it in. Don't pour it all the way to the top. Leave yourself a little space because you've got some more ingredients to add. So now that we've added that, we'll go on to another key ingredient, which is lemon juice. Now you could use lemon juice from a bottle, but I'm not a big fan of that. I'd rather have the juice of a fresh lemon. So usually in my Bloody Mary, I will add the juice of half a lemon. So you get your juicer out, squeeze it real quick, boom, you got your juice, pour it in, you're all set. Now your next ingredient, which is
smells good,
perennial favorite, is Worcestershire sauce. It's not just for burgers and meatloafs and that. It's good. It's a key ingredient in your Bloody Mary. And frankly, it's good on its own. So,
that is not my pantry bottle, by the way, just so you know.
No, that's mine. I brought it up. I leave it in the glove compartment. And what you do is you add, I'm using what's called a Demitasse spoon. Excuse me, a spoon you would use to stir espresso. So I like to put 2 spoonfuls of Worcestershire in. Next ingredient I like to put in, Tabasco sauce.
This is where I step out, because once the Tabasco goes in,
Now you can use any of your favorite hot sauce. You can use that Frank's, and because I know people put that stuff on everything. But Tabasco's my favorite because it's a classic. So my taste, I'm not big on too much heat because I like to experience all the flavors. So usually I just use a Demetaz spoon full of the Tabasco. But if you like it a little spicier, feel free to add more. I mean, feel free to clear your sinuses and everyone else is in the room. After the Tabasco, I like to add, and this is optional, horseradish. I like fresh ground horseradish. Excellent. You can get it up at Meijer. Oh, great flavor. Great smell.
This is another reason I can't enjoy his completed.
So usually I take about a Demetaz spoonful of that too.
Well-rounded.
And just put that, well-rounded spoon. I just dropped the spoon on the floor.
I'll get it.
Connie will get it. Oh no, watch it. This is a family show. Now, after that, we'll add a little bit of celery salt. So you can put that on again to taste. I love salt, so I put a pretty liberal dash of celery salt in there. And then we'll add some cracked black pepper. I like to grind it fresh. I don't like to just shake it in. I like some nice big pieces in there. And then following that, we take our last ingredient, which is the good old-fashioned celery stalk. That's the classic garnish for a Bloody Mary. I know nowadays it's trendy to use everything from olives and dill pickles, and pieces of bacon are okay. But frankly, this is a drink. It's not a salad bar. I know we like to turn everything nowadays into a salad bar and have all these funny, fancy things and that. But a good old stalk of celery is a way to go.
Well, this is what makes it healthy.
Yes, this is also what makes it healthy. This is the official drink of ex-champions. This is what people who are no longer in professional sports or the Olympics drink for breakfast because basically their lives are over. So the celery stalk is good not just as a garnish, but I can use it to stir all my ingredients nicely. You want to get everything mixed good.
But gently.
But gently, yeah, because you don't want to slosh over. You don't want to make a mess because then your wife will endlessly nag you about the mess you just made in the kitchen until you clean it up. Not that that has ever happened to me on a regular basis. But anyway, we're just stirring this up. And voila, the Bloody Mary is done.
I can't drink it, but I love the smell.
So good, so satisfying. And again, because of the celery,
it's healthy.
It's healthy, so you can tell your doctor you had a nice breakfast shake for breakfast. It's so good and so delicious. And just drinking it, I feel like I'm better able to tolerate everyone around me.
Not meaning us. It's
not
the world
meaning
at
you.
large.
No. I mean better to tolerate all you out there. So this is really good. So, and that is the classic Bloody Mary.
It is. Well, what we're going to do? Don't finish it because I'm going to cook up some shrimp real quick. When we come back, and then people want to know about your awards and what you've done here in Oxford, and so I brought up the book.
Well, why wouldn't you want to know about me? I'm fantastic.
When we come back in the third segment, we're going to sit down, have a little bit of snack. You can mix me a Bloody Mary that I can drink because it won't have the horseradish and stuff, and we'll talk about your awards a bit.
Wait a minute, I got to wait all the way to the third segment? Because I got to admit, I'm probably going to be slurring a little bit by the third segment.
He's not driving, it's good. Yeah, so that's what we're going to do. So anyway, I'm going to start. While he was doing that, I just cleaned. This shrimp was already, it's called grill ready. But it had the shell on, and if you want to do something quick, take a minute to take the shell off, and then you have this nice, meaty piece of shrimp, which you can then throw in your Bloody Mary. No, I'm not throwing in your Bloody Mary.
No, you wouldn't do that.
No. So I'm just going to do a quick marinade, let it sit. Then instead of going out to the grill because it's very windy and going to rain, I'm going to cook it in here. So when we come back, we'll do that. We'll talk a bit more.
Well, that's another good reason to drink a Bloody Mary, because it's going to rain.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll be right back, and I'll slow him down. Now, Chris is going to make up a scaled down version of the Bloody Mary because I can't do hot and I can't do the horseradish. I'm allergic.
But you can definitely do
But you can
alcohol.
do-
Trust me, I live with her.
But gentle. It's going to be a long day.
All right, just 2 for her.
All right, so while he's doing that, I got my clean shrimp in the pan. Talk about easy. I bought, there's a new zesty lime dressing that I just had to try, and I've been using it. I've used it as a marinade some. So I'm going to put some on each of these guys. And then I'm just going to move them around, throw this on the heat.
You know, there's lots of ways to make shrimp.
There is.
My friend Bubba, he knew all about it.
Smell? Doesn't that smell nice? Fresh?
It is. Very shrimpy goodness.
Well, again, it's something to be really easy to make up yourself with fresh lime and such. But, you know, when you're in a hurry or you want to throw something together quick,
It does.
it's all ready for you. Is that all ready?
And you know it's good because they were once alive, so you know it's something good.
Is that mine?
No, I'm not done yet.
Oh.
I'm looking for my other gradient. She moved everything.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So,
I can't do celery salt.
oh, what can you do?
Pepper.
Okay. Pepper, Worcestershire,
Very little bit of Worcestershire.
no Tabasco.
No Tabasco.
So
No
is this-
horseradish.
This is just tomato juice and vodka at this point.
And lemon juice.
Oh, and lemon juice.
All right, so this isn't like a classic marinating thing. I just got them in there sitting for a little bit. I'm going to throw them on the heat and then keep an eye on them because these won't take long. When you buy the shrimp with the shell on, it says like 7 or 8 minutes. Once you take the shell off, it obviously cuts down your cooking time. So that's what I'm going to do,
That's what she's gonna do.
and we're going to have a snack. So what's going on up here? We are busy. I told you we had the Tough Mudder. I'm still hearing from Tough Mudder people, and they're already booked for next year. And what a great group. I can't wait to see them. And we got 2 big scrapbooking groups coming in, one in July, and I don't remember when the other one is. And we've got showers and wine dinners and birthdays, and thank you.
There you go.
All sorts of...
You know the old saying, drunken wife, happy life.
Anyway, and what was I just saying? I take a drink and I completely lose my train of thought. Oh,
It's
well.
working.
It is. But no, people are already starting to ask about the holidays because it might be June, but it's
Also,
cold.
they're asking about booking. They aren't asking when they are because I was to say they just buy a calendar.
Yeah, you're right. No, asking about booking.
Okay.
And we've got a returning group, private office that came up last year and spent a day, and they enjoyed it so much they're coming up this year for 3 days.
Wow.
Yeah, and they were a fun group too. I mean, I didn't see much of them because they were working most of the time, but when they came in for meals and snacks and such, it was a lot of fun, and I enjoyed it.
Well, this is a perfect place for your holiday parties and stuff.
Oh, it is. Now, these people are going to have a business meeting, and then they were talking about coming back for Christmas or, you know, during the holiday season, so it's all good. But that's what we're getting a lot of people, as you know, coming back. You know, they've been here, they've liked it. Pauline brought her book club group up, and they were a fun group. I don't think they ever got around to discussing the book.
No.
But they had a great time, and they have booked a weekend getaway for all of them plus in January. And several of them are asking about shower dates and such. So it's like one of those things, if I can get you up here and you see the place, you'll want to come back.
Yes, this is the perfect place for showers because there's 5 bathrooms, great showers. Oh, but perhaps you meant a different kind
Perhaps
of shower.
I did.
Ah, okay.
All right, I'm just going to giving the shrimp a quick flip. You just wanted to kind of get that pink, and because of the marinade, if you will, it's caramelizing just a little bit on the edges. So
Is Emmy award-winning cameraographer Kyle Snage getting all that?
I hope he is.
'Cause, you know, he just
I
won
hope
an
he
Emmy.
is. I know he did. And we're
did.
so very proud of Kyle for that. And so that's what's going on up here. You know, if you want to call me, 248-933-4579. Facebook, which is where, now I normally have all the events posted, but there's something weird right now. When I click on events, it wants me to create event. It's not showing current events. So I have to figure that out or talk to my wizard. Maybe he could figure it out. Anyway, that's Treetop Lodge Oxford. And our website, treetoplodgeoxford.com, which is not changed and updated, but it tells you all about the lodge and shows you pictures. And then you can always email me at stormy3958@att.net. So, these are just about done. And when they come off, we're going to go find a place to sit down and relax.
Good.
Not
I need to sit down.
Not outside under the tree.
No.
I wanted to go outside, but I've got a tree creaking this morning in the wind, so I don't think we want to sit under it. So anyway, we'll find a place to sit down and talk, and
Alright.
we can Talk about you.
Well, it is my favorite subject.
I know it is. I know it is. So let me get another look at these shrimpies. I think I can turn that right off. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty, pretty. Pretty, pretty.
Wonderful.
So this would be something, look how quick that was. You could cut this up and throw it in a pasta sauce. You could eat it as a snack, which was what we're going to do. Just all sorts of things. A lot of people are intimidated at cooking seafood, and it really can be very, very simple. And one other thing, they look like they're done when you take your tongs and you kind of squeeze them, and they're not hard, they're not soft, they're just giving you a right amount of squeeze there.
It's always important to have the right amount of squeeze.
Yes, it is. All right, so when we get back, we'll find a comfy place to sit down and chat a bit, have a snack. Okay?
I'm probably going to need a place to lay down pretty soon.
I can do that too. All right, so we will see you back here shortly, and we'll have a little snack, and we'll talk. Oh, and that's...
It's pretty amazing when you consider that 7 years ago, we didn't have the treatments we have now. We cure 80% of children with cancer. If you think about that, I mean, go back 50 years, we were curing 20 to 30%. This is the miracle story of modern medicine. We understand what makes this cancer tick. And of course, without donors from around the world, this just couldn't happen. And there's one thing we're focused on here at St. Jude, and that's beating this thing.
And we're back. As promised, we're going to enjoy our cocktails with some of our little friends here. This is Barney, this is Kim, this is Beth, and this is Alistair. Here's a napkin for you. Try a shrimp.
All right.
Try a shrimp. Is it good?
Delicious. Perfectly cooked.
but of course. Anyway, the reason I wanted to do this is people, they ask you all the time, they ask me all the time. You've been here since May of 99?
May 10th, 1999.
And you became editor when?
November of 2002.
Okay. And in that time, see this book? These are the 90 awards, and I haven't even counted all the certificates of appreciation, all the things we have framed at home. I know a lot of times you feel like nobody's paying any attention to what you do, but obviously the people that know how to judge good writing and photography do, as evidenced by 90 awards. And also the people in the community, the various groups that you step up for all the time. And I was wondering, I'm going to go back to, we were just arguing about whether this was actually the first one. Back in 2001, editorial writing, which is always your favorite, because that says a lot about what you do, and a photograph. Yep. Because at the beginning, you didn't like to take photographs.
No, I did not like to take photos at all.
No.
Had a manual camera, and
you're good at it.
Very difficult to do, and no training. But now I like to do it.
Oh, you're good at it.
I am good.
The awards in this book
Fantastic
are from the Michigan Press Association, the Society of Professional Journalists, and the National Education Association.
National Newspaper Association. That was an education award.
Okay, an education award. So when you go through here, you see a lot of first place, a lot of second places, and honorable mentions, and
third places.
Third places, best editorial, first place. When you go back, I don't know if you can think specifically, when I know your editorial is not speaking just for you, you're speaking on behalf of the Shermans and the paper. Do you have an editorial that sticks out in your mind? Not necessarily one that you won for.
You know, I'd have to say not really. I mean, there's been so many I've written over the years. I mean, I don't write a lot of editorials. I read columns. I've kind of scaled back on that. But no, I mean, they're all special in their own way as to what they addressed.
Oh,
so.
Yeah. Well, what about your column? You've written some pretty powerful stuff.
It's a fun columns.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know if there's any that stand out. 18 years is just a blur. I mean, whenever I like to be funny, I like to be controversial, like to make people think. So, I mean, I'd say.
Do you remember what I said the first time we met?
No.
You'd been here a
trouble
couple.
for that later.
No. You'd only been here a couple weeks. Ran into you at the library. I was introduced to you. I shook his hand and I said, I really like your style. But one thing in Oxford you have to know going in, we love our dead elephants. We don't want to talk about them. We just let them lay there and stink. And within the first 2 weeks, he'd already been naming those dead elephants and getting them out and getting people talking about them, and you haven't let up since, which is good. It's a good thing. You know, you and I don't always agree, but I do like your style, and I respect the process and what goes into it. Who knows better than I? He doesn't just sit down and write and turn it in. Everything you see is very thoroughly researched, well thought out, well crafted, gone over and over and over. Sometimes even after it's run, he goes over and over it. But that's because he's passionate about what he does. I was thinking back to some, not necessarily award-winning stories. I remember when you covered the prom for the special kids.
Yeah, I did enjoy doing that.
Yeah.
And my favorite things to write about are actually, I mean, as much as I like pummeling the politicians around here when they deserve it, and they often do deserve it, I like to write about the special needs programs, Oxford Orient Fish, the Veterans, Canine Stray Rescue League. I do like writing about that stuff the most because helping those organizations that do a lot to help the community.
Well, and you have a lot of times people feel like they just don't have a voice. And you certainly can't answer and write about every phone call and request you get because Lord knows we can't walk through mire. But in so many cases, remember when Hunter was young and it was a friend of ours, her son had some very special needs and she needed a van. And Chris stepped up and led the charge to, we didn't buy the van, but we got the people together to do it. And that was largely because he believed in that. And it, sadly, Hunter has passed away, but it's certainly made life easier for him and his mother for those years.
Yes, it did.
And those are the things that stick in my mind. Sometimes that, and I'll tell you the one, and you know, that gets to me every year, is when you write about Memorial Day. Because you have such a reverence for the veterans and the current armed forces and what they do, and you show so much respect. And it's always very few words, but it's just the right words. See, I get puddly because I'm thinking about them. And then you get just the right photograph. And you get the older veterans saluting the flag, and you get the kids with the wide eyes paying attention and listening. And I just think that's wonderful. Not to mention, also another great accomplishment, almost every kid that goes through the Oxford school system gets their picture or mention in the paper for a good reason.
Yes, we tried
sometimes before they graduate. And you said that when you first started.
Well, that wasn't my thing. That was a policy of the paper for years. They always try to get everyone who goes through the Oxford school system at least once in the paper before they graduate.
Yeah. And you've managed to do that. And it was funny because I remember early on when I just barely knew you, you said that and then you laughed. You said, like, I'm going to be here long enough to make that happen. And it has now been 18 years?
18 years.
So what do you see as the climate in Oxford overall over the years? You've got a very unique perspective on it.
Well, I just think people, I mean, we have a good town. I think people need to get a little more involved in things. And by involved, I don't mean complaining on Facebook. I think the people who all they do complain on Facebook it's that you're not doing anything. You know, sitting at home, writing your little posts, being nasty as you can be because you don't have to face somebody. You're not doing anything to help your community. Those people are a non-entity. We need people to really actually come to meetings, ask good questions, run for offices, things like that. You know, just doing, if you think that because you write your little comments on Facebook, you're actually doing something, no. You know, those people I consider worthless, frankly.
Yeah. Well, OCTV tapes, as you know, because I've been working with them, tapes all the meetings. I have to say, because I watch it all the time because I'm a little obsessive about it, the number of views on meetings has gone up. So I look at that as a positive sign.
It is.
But I would like to see more people in the seats. And not just when there's a huge issue and then as soon as the gavel comes down, they all disappear, which happens also.
Well, there's a lot of that. I mean, I remember back when 98 Glassby was going to be developed, they were looking at a multifamily thing. All these people from Oxford Lake showed up and they said, oh yeah, we're going to be here. We're going to keep an eye on things. And in the end, with the exception of Eric Dolan, who's currently on the village council, all those people in Oxford Lakes did what they always do. They retreated back to their homes, and they're not involved.
It's not just Oxford Lakes.
I know, but I'm saying that's an example.
Yeah.
People get all fired up about issues. They're the not in my backyard people, the NIMBY people, and they get all fired up. And then when there isn't anything, they don't pay attention to what goes on in the community. And those are the kind of people that frustrate me. You know what, if you're not going to always pay attention to what's going on in your community, then you really don't have much of a right to complain.
No. And it's unfortunate the number of times that I'll be covering a meeting, and I'm the only one in the audience. And I always hope that people will watch. And I realize some of these meetings, it's just minutia. But it's all important to the running of a community, all the different boards and commissions and such. And I would like to see more people get involved with that. But, of course, my real love in the community is volunteering with the various groups. And you've covered a lot of things like that over the years. Of course, we always mention canine and fish and free meals and such. But, boy, you're there just... I mean, everybody says it. Oh, I know CJ, he's there for everything. And believe me, I've had enough ruined dinners and messed up weekend plans to attest to that, but I don't mind. Because I know that you love what you do, and even though you
Most
don't...
days.
Yeah. Well, even though you don't hear it a lot, I mean, the number of people that stop me and ask me to give you a message, you know, that's pretty cool. So whether you realize it or not, you're making a huge impact.
That's good.
And then, like I said, from a professional standpoint, this is pretty impressive, really. There's certificates of appreciation in here. These are just the ones that I could take out of the frames. We've probably, got 30 at home that are framed. Cub Scouts, Rotary, Wreaths Across America. He's there for all of it. And I know we all have good days and bad days, but I would hope on balance that you would feel very proud of yourself, because this is pretty darn impressive. And they went into a book because I couldn't frame them to hang them anymore. I mean, I would have to wallpaper the walls with these. But they're important to me, too. They're very proud of you.
Well, thank you.
And I'd like to think I have a little part in it, if nothing else. And
You
say,
did. No, I rely on you. I bounce a lot off you, and you edit or read over my stuff, proofread my stuff. I constantly bouncing ideas off you and thoughts, and venting my frustrations about various things. So you're an integral part of my process, and I consider these awards just as much yours as they are mine.
Well, you always say that. I mean, you always make it known, and I appreciate that, because I certainly couldn't do what I do without you. Like, this would be a very one-sided conversation if you weren't here. So that's what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to take some time from the show to applaud you a little bit.
Thank you.
To give you some of the recognition you deserve, and to answer that question, just how many awards does he have? So, sweetheart.
Thank you.
Thank you. I love you. Thank you for being here for number 40. We will be back for number 41 very soon. In the meantime, we're going to finish up our shrimp and our drinks and trip through our memory lane a little bit. So, be kind to one another. Remember the promise I talked about a couple shows ago. That's becoming something a lot of people are talking about. So check back episode 38. We'll see you soon. In the meantime, get involved. Be nice to one another. See ya.